My name is Anna Bergmann. I'm 34 years old, and 3 hours ago I discovered my family is trying to steal my inheritance. Not because they need it, because they don't think I deserve it. Let me set the scene. Tuesday afternoon, October 15th, Zürich, Switzerland. I'm standing in the entrance hall of my mother's house in Zürich, one of the city's most exclusive suburbs, the house where I grew up. White walls, dark wood floors, everything perfectly in place. Very Swiss, very proper. Very much a lie. I'm supposed to be in Botswana right now, Chobe National Park, managing an anti-poaching operation with a 3.2 million euro budget. Instead, I caught an early flight back after a poaching crisis. 3 days of 16-hour workdays, then I flew home. I haven't showered in 30 hours. I'm wearing field clothes, khaki cargo pants, dusty boots. My hair is in a braid that's seen better days. But here's the thing about Anna Bergmann. I'm the youngest child and only daughter of Klaus and Petra Bergmann. My father founded Bergmann Precision Engineering 42 years ago. Started in a garage, grew it into a 50 million euro company with 200 employees, manufacturing precision components for medical devices and aerospace. My father died 6 months ago. Pancreatic cancer. I have one sibling. Stefan. He's 41, 7 years older, and he's worked at Bergmann Engineering since he was 23. Started on the factory floor, worked his way up. Father made him chief operating officer when he turned 35. Stefan is married to Claudia, who comes from old Zürich money. They have 2 children, live in Küsnacht in a house that cost 4.2 million euros. Then there's me, the different one. I didn't join the family business. After my master's in environmental science at ETH Zurich, I joined Wildlife Conservation International. Now I'm director of operations for Africa and Southern Asia. I manage 12 conservation programs across 8 countries. Annual operating budget, 25 million euros. Last year, we reduced elephant poaching in our zones by 43%, but my family doesn't see it that way. To them, I'm Anna, who works with animals. Anna, the idealist who walked away from the family legacy. Father left a will. Very clear, very detailed. The company shares were divided. 40% to Stefan, 30% to me, 30% to Mother. Father also left me the family chalet in Grindelwald, worth approximately 2.8 million euros, our special place. Stefan got the company role he'd always had, plus the largest share because he'd dedicated his career to it. I got enough shares to have a real voice, plus the place I loved most. Mother got financial security. It was fair. It was clear. It was Father's final decision. Except now, standing in my mother's entrance hall, I hear voices coming from Father's study. The door is slightly open. I recognize the voices. Mother, Stefan, and someone else, a man I don't know. I move closer to the study door. Silent. Years of tracking animals teaches you how to be quiet. The unknown man is speaking. The challenge is proving Anna is unfit to hold shares. She's never shown interest in the business. My heart stops. Stefan's voice, confident and dismissive. Exactly. She knows nothing about manufacturing. She's been in Africa playing with elephants while I've run this company for 15 years. Father was sentimental about her, but sentiment doesn't run a business. Mother, my mother, speaks next. Klaus wasn't thinking clearly at the end. The cancer medications affected his judgment. Anna should have gotten a cash settlement, not company shares. She has her little conservation job. That should be enough. Little conservation job. I manage operations across 3 continents. But sure, little job. The unknown man again. I recognize the accent now. Zurich German, probably a lawyer. Herr Mueller speaking. If we can document her complete disengagement from the company, we can argue for a forced buyout at significantly reduced value. Swiss corporate law allows it if a shareholder is demonstrably unable to fulfill their fiduciary duties. Stefan, eager. She won't fight it. Anna hates confrontation. She'll take whatever we offer and go back to her animals. She's always been soft. A woman's voice I recognize as Claudia, Stefan's wife. What about the Grindelwald chalet? That property is worth nearly 3 million euros. Mother responds, That's different. We'll say Klaus promised it to Stefan years ago. It makes more sense. Stefan's children can use it, Anna has no family, there's no written proof of Klaus's intentions. Herr Müller. Exactly. Verbal promises between father and son are difficult to disprove. I've prepared a statutory declaration for Stefan to sign. Stefan. Perfect. Once we consolidate ownership, we can move forward with the sale I've been negotiating. The German firm is offering 45 million euros for the company. 45 million euros. My 30% would be 13.5 million euros. Müller continues. I've prepared documents showing Stefan as sole managing director with full operational authority. Once Anna signs these routine corporate governance papers, she'll have effectively given up her voting rights. Then we proceed with the buyout at, shall we say, 4 million euros? Generous for someone who's contributed nothing to the business. 4 million. They want to buy me out for 4 million when my shares are worth 13.5 million. That's a 9.5 million euro theft. From their own daughter and sister. Stefan laughs. Actually laughs. Anna won't even read them properly. She'll just sign whatever we put in front of her. She trusts us. Mother, it's for the best. Stefan has earned this. He's dedicated his life to the company, while Anna has been elsewhere. Klaus should have recognized that. I back away from the door. Carefully. Quietly. My hands are shaking, but my mind is crystal clear. I let myself out the front door. Get into my car, a practical Volvo V60. My hands grip the steering wheel. But I'm not crying. I'm furious. And more than that, I'm calculating. See, here's what Stefan and Mother don't understand. I didn't choose conservation because I'm soft. I chose it because I wanted to build something that mattered. Something that was mine. And in 8 years, I've built programs in places where Swiss diplomats won't even go. I've negotiated with corrupt government officials in countries where saying the wrong thing gets you killed. I've managed budgets bigger than Bergmann Engineering's annual revenue. I've coordinated operations across 12 time zones with teams speaking 6 languages. I've stared down poachers armed with AK-47s and convinced them there was more money in protection than killing. Stefan has run one factory in one of the most stable countries in the world for 15 years. He thinks that makes him competent? He thinks managing 200 employees in Switzerland is complex? I drive to my apartment in Zürich's Seefeld district. 1 bedroom, lake view. Everything in my life I've built myself. I sit at my desk and open my laptop, pull up my work files. Current projects. Anti-poaching in Botswana, 3.2 million euro. Rhino breeding in Namibia, 1.8 million euro. Wildlife corridor in Tanzania, 4.1 million euro. Ranger training in Kenya, 2.3 million euro. Elephant monitoring across 4 countries, 5.7 million euro. Community conservation in Zambia, 3.1 million euro. Total budget, 20.2 million euros annually. Total staff, 247 people. Success metrics. Poaching reduced 43%. Elephant populations stable or growing in 6 of 8 regions. I've negotiated with ministers, conservation organizations, tribal leaders, and once with a regional warlord who controlled territory we needed. We got our corridor. He got a road and a school. And Stefan thinks I play with animals. I create a new folder, Operation Inheritance. Then I start making lists. Because this is what I do. I document, I plan, I execute. It's 6:47 p.m. Tomorrow I'll start fighting back. Tonight, I need to understand what I'm fighting for. I open my email and search for messages from Father. Find the folder I labeled Papa, Personal. Hundreds of emails spanning 15 years. I start reading from the most recent. 2 weeks before he died. My dearest Anna, I've finalized the will today. Dr. Weber has everything documented properly. Stefan will resist your shareholding. He believes the business should be his because he's worked there. But running something isn't the same as understanding it. You understand systems, strategy, long-term thinking. I need you to have leverage. The company may need saving someday. You'll know what to do. Trust yourself. You're stronger and smarter than you think. Love always, Papa. I read it 3 times. He knew. He knew Stefan would do this. That's why he gave me 30%, not as a gift, as a weapon. My name is Anna Bergmann. I'm 34 years old. I run conservation operations across 8 countries with a 25 million euro budget. I've negotiated with warlords, stood down poachers, and built programs from nothing in places most people won't even visit. And now I'm going to save my father's company from my own brother. Let's see who's soft now. Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. sharp. I'm in Dr. Helena Weber's office in downtown Zürich. The building is glass and steel, overlooking the Limmat River. 12th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, walls of law books. Helena Weber is 56, impeccably dressed in charcoal gray, silver hair in a sharp bob. She's reviewing my documents. "You've been busy," she says, not looking up. I document everything. It's part of my job. She finally looks at me. "Your father said you had the most analytical mind he'd ever encountered." Helena smiles. "Your father also said you had a tendency to downplay your own abilities." She taps the papers. "This conspiracy you've uncovered, Stefan, your mother, and Herr Müller, is straightforward fraud. They're planning to deceive you into signing away rights, then force a buyout at far below market value." Can they actually do it? Force the buyout? Not easily. Your father was very careful with the corporate structure. She pulls up a document on her computer. Your father's corporate bylaws, Article 7, Section 3. Any sale of the company or transfer of more than 25% of company shares requires unanimous consent of all shareholders. Unanimous. So they can't sell without my agreement. Correct. That's why they're trying to trick you into signing away your voting rights first. We spend 2 hours going through corporate law, shareholder rights, and strategy. Helena explains that as a 30% shareholder, I have significant power. I can block major decisions, call emergency board meetings, request financial audits. She gives me 3 action items. First, understand the company inside and out. Second, gather evidence of their conspiracy. Third, establish my competence as an active shareholder. I leave her office with a list of contacts. Marcus Keller, forensic accountant. Herr Fischer, senior board member loyal to father. Frau Zimmermann, corporate secretary. By Wednesday evening, I've set everything in motion. Marcus is reviewing financial records. Herr Fischer has agreed to lunch. Frau Zimmermann is preparing documents. Thursday afternoon, I'm reading through boxes of files. Board meeting minutes reveal a pattern. Father proposing growth initiatives, Stefan blocking them all. The financial impact is devastating. Competitors who embraced change grew 30 to 40%. Bergmann Engineering grew 6% over 5 years. Friday at lunch, Herr Fischer tells me the truth. Your father gave you 30% as a weapon. He knew Stefan lacked vision. Friday morning, Marcus calls. Stefan has misappropriated approximately 580,000 euros over 4 years through unauthorized salaries, fake consulting fees, and improper expenses. The Hartmann offer is 7 to 23 million euros below fair value. Friday evening arrives. I'm due at Mother's house for dinner, and the trap. I arrive exactly on time. Mother greets me warmly. Stefan hugs me. So glad you could make it, little sister. After dinner, Stefan slides documents across the table. Just routine corporate governance. I read carefully. Buried in legal language are clauses giving Stefan complete control and allowing forced buyout if I'm not actively involved. Can I have my attorney review this before signing? Stefan's smile tightens. It's really just formalities, Anna. Father always taught me never to sign legal documents without proper review. The tension escalates. Finally, I ask, what about the Hartmann acquisition offer? 45 million euros sounds pretty concrete. Dead silence. How do you know about that? Stefan asks. I'm a shareholder. I have the right to know about any offer to purchase the company. More silence. Then I play my hand. Or were you planning to have me sign away my voting rights first? Then buy me out for 4 million instead of 13.5. Stefan's face goes red. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the conversation you had with Mother and Herr Mueller 3 days ago, in Father's study, where you discussed how to trick me into giving up my rights, then force a buyout at far below fair value. The color drains from Stefan's face. I stand. I'm not signing this document. I'm not selling my shares for 4 million when they're worth 13.5. And I'm not letting you sell Father's company to Hartmann so they can shut it down and eliminate 200 jobs. You have no say. Article 7, Section 3 requires unanimous shareholder consent for major asset sales. Father wrote that specifically. I have complete veto power. Stefan towers over me, trying to intimidate. You don't know anything about running a business. You play with animals. I manage a 25 million euro budget across 8 countries. I coordinate operations with 247 staff. I negotiate with government ministers and hostile tribal leaders. You run 1 factory in Switzerland. Don't lecture me about complexity. Stefan's fist hits the table. Father left me in charge. He left you as COO. He left me as 30% shareholder specifically to stop you from doing exactly what you're trying to do. He knew, Stefan. That's why he gave me veto power. I walk out. Get in my car. Call Helena. How did it go? Badly. I confronted them. Refused to sign. Stefan threatened me. Good. Now they know you're serious. What's your next move? Emergency board meeting. I want Stefan investigated for financial misconduct, and I want to formally oppose the Hartmann sale. That's a declaration of war. They declared war when they tried to steal from me. I'm just finishing it. Monday morning, I file the emergency board meeting request. Herr Fischer seconds the motion. Meeting scheduled for Friday, October 25th at 2 p.m. 5 days to prepare for the most important meeting of my life. The next 5 days are the most intense of my life. Not because of the work. I've managed crisis situations that made this look simple. Intense because I'm preparing to destroy my family relationships while saving my father's legacy. Monday through Wednesday, I work 18-hour days. I'm running my regular conservation operations. Conference calls with Botswana at 6 a.m., donor reports for the Kenya program, emergency budget approvals for Tanzania. But every free moment, I'm preparing for Friday's board meeting. Marcus Keller delivers his forensic accounting report Tuesday evening. 47 pages of documented evidence. Stefan's unauthorized compensation, 427,000 euros over 3 years. Claudia's fake consulting fees, 120,000 euros. Unauthorized expenses, 95,000 euro BMW. 38,000 euro in unaccounted charges. Total misappropriation, 580,000 euros. More damaging is his strategic analysis. Bergmann Engineering under Stefan's leadership has consistently underperformed industry benchmarks. Revenue growth, 6% over 5 years versus 28% industry average. Market share in core sectors, declining. New market entry, 0. Innovation investment, 40% below competitors. The Hartman offer analysis is brutal. Fair market value, 52 to 68 million euros, depending on methodology. With proper renewable energy pivot, potential 80 million euro in 5 years. Hartman's offer, 45 million, representing a 7 to 23 million euro discount. Why the discount? Because Stefan failed to cultivate competing offers. Because the company's growth trajectory is weak. Because Stefan is a mediocre negotiator who took the first serious offer rather than maximize value. Wednesday afternoon, I meet with Herr Fischer again. We review my presentation for Friday. He provides context on the other board members, who's loyal to Stefan, who respected father, who can be swayed by evidence. Anna, you're going to face hostility, he warns. Stefan has been positioning himself as Klaus's natural successor for years. Some board members will resist seeing him challenged. I'm not challenging him out of spite. I'm challenging him because he's mismanaging the company and trying to commit fraud. I know. But prepare for it to get ugly. Wednesday evening, Stefan calls me. I almost don't answer, but curiosity wins. Anna, we need to talk. His voice is strained. About what, Stefan? About Friday, this emergency board meeting. What are you trying to accomplish? I'm trying to protect Father's company and my rights as a shareholder. Things you should want too, if you actually cared about the business. I've dedicated 15 years. You've maintained a company for 15 years while missing every major growth opportunity. There's a difference between dedication and competence. Anna, please. Think about Mother. Think about the family. Do you really want to air all this publicly? You mean, do I want to expose that you've been stealing from the company and trying to defraud me? That you're selling Father's legacy for a discount because you're too lazy to negotiate properly? Yes, Stefan, I want exactly that. You're going to regret this. No, you're going to regret underestimating me for 34 years. See you Friday. I hang up. My hands are shaking, not from fear, from anger. Thursday, I do a full dress rehearsal of my presentation. Stand in my apartment, laptop connected to my TV, and present to an empty room. Practice my opening. Practice responding to hostile questions. Practice staying calm when people attack me. Because they will attack me. Stefan will paint me as the ungrateful daughter who abandoned the family business. Mother will cry and talk about destroying family bonds. Some board members will question my qualifications. I need to be perfect. Calm, professional, unshakable. Thursday evening, I get my hair cut and styled. Professional but not severe. Buy a new suit, charcoal gray, tailored perfectly. Conservative but confident. I look like someone who belongs in a boardroom. I look at myself in the mirror. 34 years old, about to go to war with my own family. Father's words echo, "You're stronger than you think." You'll know what to do. I hope he's right. Friday morning I wake at 5 a.m. Can't sleep anyway. I go for a run along the lake, trying to burn off nervous energy. Come home, shower, dress carefully. The charcoal suit, cream blouse, minimal jewelry. Hair pulled back in a low bun. Professional, serious. Ready. The board meeting is at 2 p.m. at Bergmann Engineering Headquarters in Winterthur. I arrive at 1:30. Early, but I want to control the space. The boardroom is on the 3rd floor. Large room with a conference table that seats 12. Windows overlooking the factory floor. Father's portrait hangs on one wall. He's smiling slightly, looking confident. I wonder what he'd think of what's about to happen. I set up my laptop, connect to the projector, test the presentation. Everything works. I have printed copies of Marcus's forensic report, my strategic analysis, documentation of Stefan's conspiracy. 1 copy for each board member. At 1:45, Herr Fischer arrives. He gives me an encouraging nod. Ready? As ready as I'll ever be. Your father would be proud. Whatever happens today, remember that. At 1:50, other board members arrive. Frau Kaufmann, who ran the company's HR department for 20 years before retiring. Herr Schneider, who represents a minority investor. Herr Vogel, Stefan's friend and ally. They look surprised to see me setting up at the head of the table. Anna, Frau Kaufmann says warmly, I didn't realize you'd be presenting. I called the meeting. I have concerns that need to be addressed. At 1:55, Stefan arrives with Mother and the company's lawyer. Stefan's face is tight with tension. Mother looks like she's been crying. They take seats at the opposite end of the table. Let's begin, Stefan says, trying to take control. Anna has called this meeting to discuss. I'll explain the agenda, thank you, I interrupt. I'm the one who called this meeting, as is my right as a 30% shareholder. Stefan's jaw clenches, but he doesn't respond. At exactly 2 p.m., I stand. Thank you all for coming. I know this is unusual. Emergency board meetings typically indicate crisis, and we do have a crisis. Several, in fact. I advance to the first slide. I'm here today to present evidence of financial misconduct, strategic mismanagement, and breach of fiduciary duty by our chief operating officer. I look directly at Stefan. His face has gone pale. Over the past 2 weeks, I've conducted a comprehensive review of Bergmann Engineering's financial records, strategic decisions, and leadership performance. What I found is deeply concerning. Slide 2. Stefan's compensation over 5 years. Stefan's annual compensation has increased from €250,000 to €427,000, a 70% increase over 5 years. Industry standard for COO of a company our size, €250,000. Stefan is being compensated 70% above market rate. I advance the slide. More concerning, these increases were never approved by the board. I've reviewed meeting minutes for the past 5 years. No votes on executive compensation are recorded. Frau Kaufmann leans forward. Stefan, is this accurate? Stefan shifts. My compensation reflects my increased responsibilities. Compensation changes require board approval, I say calmly. That's basic corporate governance. Stefan unilaterally increased his own salary without authorization. Slide 3. Claudia's consulting fees. Stefan's wife, Claudia Bergmann, has received €120,000 over the past 4 years as a business consultant. I've searched company records for any evidence of her consulting work. Reports, presentations, invoices, meeting minutes. There is none. Claudia has been paid €120,000 for work that doesn't exist. Herr Schneider speaks up. That's concerning. Stefan, can you provide documentation of your wife's consulting work? She provided strategic advice informally for €30,000 annually, without any documentation or deliverables. I pull up another slide. Additionally, Stefan charged a €95,000 BMW to the company as an executive vehicle without board approval. I pause, let that sink in. In total, Stefan has misappropriated approximately €580,000 in unauthorized compensation and expenses over 4 years. This is not an accounting error. This is systematic self-dealing. The room is silent. Stefan looks like he wants to crawl under the table. But financial misconduct is only part of the problem, I continue. Stefan's strategic leadership has been catastrophically bad for this company. New slide. Company performance versus industry benchmarks. Bergmann Engineering revenue growth over the past 5 years, 6%. Industry average, 28%. We haven't just underperformed. We've been lapped by competitors. Another slide. Missed opportunities. 3 years ago, my father proposed entering the renewable energy component market. This sector has grown 43% over 3 years. It's now a 2.8 billion euro annual market. Stefan's response? I pull up the board meeting minutes. Too risky. Outside our core competency. Companies smaller than us 3 years ago are now major players in this space. We have zero market share, zero revenue. We missed a 2.8 billion euro opportunity because Stefan was too risk-averse to execute my father's vision. I advance through more slides. Factory automation, Stefan rejected. Startup partnerships, he declined. Market expansion, he blocked. Each decision made sense in isolation, avoiding risk, maintaining stability. Together, they created a pattern of strategic paralysis. Stefan hasn't led this company, he's maintained it. And in a growing industry, maintaining means falling behind. Now for the biggest issue. Finally, the Hartmann Precision acquisition offer. Stefan has negotiated a sale of Bergmann Engineering for 45 million euros. I pull up Marcus's valuation analysis. Independent valuation of our company. 52 to 68 million euros depending on methodology. If we implement the renewable energy pivot my father wanted, 5-year valuation, 80 million euros. Stefan has negotiated a sale for 7 to 23 million euros below fair value. He's leaving money on the table because he didn't seek competing offers or negotiate effectively. Additionally, Hartmann Precision has a clear track record with acquisitions. They buy companies, slash costs, then close the acquired factories and move production. If we sell to Hartmann, this factory will close within 3 years. 200 employees will lose their jobs. My father's 42-year legacy will disappear. I look around the room. Every board member is focused on me. Stefan is selling our company at a discount to a buyer who will destroy it. And he's trying to force this sale by committing fraud against me. I pull up the final evidence. Emails between Stefan and Herr Müller. The documents they prepared to trick me. The plan to buy me out for 4 million euros when my shares are worth 13.5 million euros. Stefan and my mother conspired with attorney Herr Müller to deceive me into signing away my voting rights, then force a buyout at less than 1/3 of my shares' value. This is fraud. This is elder abuse under Swiss law. This is criminal. The room erupts. Everyone talking at once. Herr Vogel defending Stefan. Frau Kaufmann looking horrified. Herr Schneider demanding explanations. Stefan stands. This is ridiculous. Anna knows nothing about this business. She's been in Africa for 8 years. I manage a 25 million euro budget. My voice cuts through the chaos. I coordinate operations across 8 countries with 247 staff members. I negotiate with government officials, tribal leaders, and, yes, occasionally warlords. I've built conservation programs from nothing in hostile environments. I step forward. You think manufacturing precision components is complex? I've negotiated protected corridors through territory controlled by armed militias. I've convinced corrupt officials to enforce anti-poaching laws. I've managed World Bank audits and passed every single one. Stefan runs one factory in one of the most stable, wealthy, safe countries in the world. And he thinks I can't understand business? The only reason he thinks that is because he's never bothered to pay attention to what I actually do. Mother stands, tears streaming. Anna, how can you do this to your brother, to your family? I turn to her. How can I do this? Stefan tried to steal 9.5 million euros from me. You helped him. You both tried to subvert father's will and dishonor his explicit wishes. Don't talk to me about family. I return to my presentation. I'm not here to destroy Stefan out of spite. I'm here to save father's company. So here's my proposal. Final slide, strategic recommendation. 1. Stefan is suspended as COO pending investigation of financial misconduct. Herr Fischer assumes interim operational leadership. 2. We reject the Hartmann offer and implement the renewable energy strategy Father designed before his death. I've already had preliminary conversations with 3 major solar manufacturers. They're interested in partnerships. 3. Full forensic audit of the past 5 years. Stefan repays all unauthorized compensation and expenses. 4. We hire a professional CEO with renewable energy experience to lead the company forward. I look around the room. My father built something valuable, something worth fighting for. Stefan is ready to sell it for less than it's worth to a buyer who will destroy it. I'm asking you to let me save it instead. Silence. Long, heavy silence. Herr Fischer stands. I've reviewed all of Anna's evidence. It's compelling and well documented. I move that we vote on her proposal. Frau Kaufmann. I second. Stefan. This is insane. You're going to let her, someone who's never worked in manufacturing, take over? I'm not taking over, I say calmly. I'm proposing professional management and strategic direction. Stefan's 15 years have proven he can maintain operations. But maintenance isn't enough. We need vision. We need growth. We need what Father wanted. The company lawyer speaks up. The evidence of financial misconduct is serious. If we don't address it, we could face shareholder lawsuits or regulatory action. Herr Vogel, Stefan's ally, tries one more defense. Stefan has been loyal to this company. Loyalty doesn't excuse theft, I interrupt. Loyalty doesn't excuse fraud. Stefan can be as loyal as he wants. He still stole 580,000 euros and tried to cheat me out of millions more. The lawyer looks uncomfortable. We should vote. All in favor of suspending Stefan as COO pending investigation? Herr Fischer asks. Herr Fischer raises his hand. Frau Kaufmann. Herr Schneider. That's 3. Stefan and Herr Vogel vote against. 2. Mother looks torn. Finally, quietly, I abstain. 3-2. Motion passes. All in favor of rejecting the Hartmann offer? Same vote. 3-2. Passes. All in favor of forensic audit? 3-2. Passes. 14th. Stefan stands, face red. You're making a huge mistake. This company will fail without me. No, Stefan, I say softly. This company has been failing with you. Father knew it. That's why he gave me the power to stop you. Stefan storms out. Mother follows, not looking at me. After they leave, the room is quiet. Frau Kaufmann speaks first. Anna, that was impressive. Your father would be very proud. Thank you. Herr Fischer. So what now? You've suspended Stefan. Do you have a plan to actually run the company? I have the beginning of one. I'll need help, but yes, I have a plan. We spend the next hour discussing logistics. Herr Fischer will handle day-to-day operations temporarily. I'll work with the management team on the renewable energy pivot strategy. We'll hire executive recruiters to find a permanent CEO. By 5 p.m., I'm exhausted but exhilarated. I did it. I actually did it. I drive back to Zürich as the sun sets. Call Helena Weber. How did it go? Stefan's suspended. Hartmann offer rejected. Audit approved. It actually worked. Of course it worked. You had evidence, strategy, and the high ground. How do you feel? Like I just blew up my family. You didn't blow it up. They did when they tried to commit fraud. You just stopped them. I hang up and sit in my apartment, look at Father's photo. I hope I did the right thing, Papa, I whisper. I hope this is what you wanted. My phone buzzes. Message from Herr Fischer. Board meeting Monday to discuss transition plan. Bring your renewable energy strategy. Time to prove you can execute. I smile. Challenge accepted. The weekend after the board meeting is surreal. I should feel triumphant. Instead, I feel hollowed out. I've won the battle but destroyed my family in the process. Saturday morning, I get a text from Mother. How could you humiliate your brother like that? You've destroyed everything. I don't respond. What would I say? That Stefan destroyed it first when he tried to steal from me? Sunday, my phone rings. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answer. Anna, Stefan's voice tight and angry. We need to talk. Face to face. I don't think, please, just you and me. No lawyers, no mother, no board members. I need to understand why you did this. There's something in his voice. Not the bluster from the board meeting, something raw. Fine. Tuesday, 2 p.m., Café Odeon. I'll be there. Monday morning, I'm back at Bergmann Engineering headquarters. The management team, department heads, senior engineers, production managers, gathers in the conference room. 20 people who've been with the company for years. They look nervous. Their COO was just suspended. They don't know what's coming. I stand at the front of the room, Herr Fischer beside me. Thank you all for coming. I know the past few days have been unsettling. Stefan Bergmann has been suspended pending investigation. Herr Fischer is interim operational leader. But I want to explain why this happened and what comes next. I pull up a presentation. Different from Friday's, less about Stefan's failures, more about the company's future. Bergmann Engineering was founded 42 years ago by my father, Klaus Bergmann. He built this company on precision, quality, and innovation. For the past 5 years, we've maintained those first 2 values. But we lost innovation. I show market trend slides. The precision engineering market has evolved. Renewable energy is the fastest growing sector. My father saw this 3 years ago. He wanted to pivot. We didn't. I advance the slides. So here's what we're doing now. We're entering the renewable energy component market. Solar mounting systems, wind turbine precision parts, battery component manufacturing. Murmurs through the room. Some excited, some skeptical. I know this is a significant change. Change is uncomfortable. But maintaining our current trajectory means slow decline. Competitors are growing while we stagnate. We can't afford that. One of the senior engineers raises his hand. With respect, Fräulein Bergmann, do you have experience in renewable energy manufacturing? No. But I have experience managing complex operations, implementing new strategies, and executing ambitious projects with limited resources. For 8 years, I've built conservation programs in hostile environments with success rates that exceed industry benchmarks. I know how to assess risk, develop strategy, and execute change. I pull up the next slide. More importantly, I'm not doing this alone. We're hiring a CEO with renewable energy manufacturing experience. We're partnering with established companies who need our precision capabilities. We're leveraging our existing expertise while expanding into new markets. Another hand, what about our current clients? Medical devices and aerospace? We maintain those relationships. This isn't abandonment of our core business, it's expansion. We're adding capability, not replacing it. I spend an hour going through the strategic plan, financial projections, partnership opportunities, implementation timeline. By the end, the skepticism has shifted. Not to full enthusiasm, that takes time, but to cautious optimism. Herr Fischer closes the meeting. Klaus Bergmann built this company by taking smart risks. We're honoring his legacy by taking smart risks again. Questions, concerns, ideas. Bring them to Anna or to me. We're in this together. After the meeting, several engineers approach me privately. They have questions, suggestions, concerns about specific technical challenges. I take notes, promised to follow up. One older engineer, Herr Bauer, who's been with the company since father started it, pulls me aside. "Your father would be very proud of you," he says quietly. Stefan is good at keeping things running, but Klaus had vision. You have vision. That's what we need. Tuesday afternoon, I'm at Café Odeon, the historic coffee house in central Zürich. Stefan is already there, sitting at a corner table. He looks terrible, exhausted, defeated, older than his 41 years. I sit across from him, order coffee, wait. Finally, Stefan speaks. "I've been thinking about what you said Friday, about how I don't know what you actually do. You're right, I don't. This is not what I expected. For 15 years, I've been the son who stayed, who worked in the family business, who did what father wanted." He laughs bitterly. "At least, what I thought father wanted. You were the one who left, who chose your own path. I resented that. I know. I told myself you were naive, that your work was less important, less serious. It made me feel better about the choice I made, staying in manufacturing instead of following my own interests." "What interests?" "Architecture. I wanted to be an architect. But father needed someone in the business, and you'd already announced you were going into conservation. So I stayed. I didn't know this. I never knew Stefan wanted something different." "I'm not excusing what I did," he continues. "The unauthorized compensation, trying to cheat you, that was wrong, criminal probably. I was drowning in debt. Claudia's spending, the house, the kids' school. I needed money and convinced myself I deserved it. You could have asked for proper raises, gone through the board. I know, but I was ashamed. Ashamed I couldn't manage money better. Ashamed that father never thought I was good enough to fully trust with the company." He looks at me. "That's why he gave you 30%, right? Because he didn't trust me alone. He trusted you to run operations. He just knew you wouldn't push for change. He was right. I hate change. Change is scary and uncertain, and I spent 15 years trying to keep everything stable and safe, and I turned father's innovative company into something stagnant." We sit in silence. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," Stefan finally says. "I don't deserve it. I needed you to know I understand now. What I did was wrong. What you did on Friday, exposing me, was right. Humiliating, but right. I didn't do it to humiliate you. I know. You did it to save father's company, which is what he wanted you to do." Stefan drinks his coffee. "The forensic audit is going to find all of it, isn't it? The money, the expenses, everything." "Yes." "What happens to me? Prison?" Helena Weber says probably not. If you repay everything voluntarily, show remorse, agree to full restitution, probably no criminal charges. Just civil penalties. How much do I have to repay? 580,000 euros, plus legal fees. Stefan closes his eyes. "I don't have that. The house is mortgaged. Claudia's family won't help. I'm going to lose everything." "You could sell your 40% of company shares." "To who? You?" "No, to an investor, or back to the company. Helena can help structure it legally. Then I'll have nothing from father's legacy. You'll have the choice not to go to prison. That's something." He nods slowly. "What about the chalet, Grindelwald? That's mine. Father left it to me explicitly. The emails we exchanged about it are clear evidence of his intent." "I know. I was lying about him promising it to me." He looks ashamed. "I just wanted it. Wanted something tangible from his legacy since I'm clearly not capable of running his company." "You're capable of operations, Stefan. You just shouldn't have been alone in leadership. Father knew that. Did he tell you that? He wrote it in emails he never sent. He wanted you to have operational control, but he wanted me to have strategic input. The 30% shareholding wasn't about money. It was about balance. Stefan stands. I should go. Thank you for meeting me. And Anna, I'm sorry, truly sorry, for underestimating you, for trying to cheat you, for dishonoring Father's wishes. I was wrong about everything. He leaves. I sit alone with my coffee processing the conversation. Stefan isn't evil. He's weak and resentful and made terrible choices. But he's still my brother. Part of me wishes things could be different, but they can't, not after what he did. Over the next 2 weeks, everything accelerates. The forensic audit confirms every finding. Stefan agrees to full restitution, selling his company's shares to a private equity investor Helena connects us with. He'll repay the €580,000 over time. No criminal charges filed. Claudia files for divorce. Apparently, discovering her husband is a thief who tried to defraud his sister is a deal breaker. She gets the house. Stefan moves to a small apartment in Zürich. Mother refuses to speak to me. She's told everyone in her social circle that I destroyed Stefan out of ambition, that I manipulated Father's will, that I'm heartless. Some of her friends believe her. I lose invitations to events, get cold shoulders at social functions. I don't care. I never fit into Mother's world anyway. The company transformation begins. We hire a search firm to find a CEO with renewable energy manufacturing experience. Interview 5 candidates. Hire Dr. Sarah Chen, a Swiss-German engineer who spent 10 years at a German solar company before leading operations at a Norwegian wind power manufacturer. She's brilliant, demanding, and exactly what Bergmann Engineering needs. We announce our renewable energy pivot publicly. Industry response is positive. We're late to the market, but our precision manufacturing reputation opens doors. Within 3 weeks, we have preliminary partnership agreements with 2 major solar manufacturers. Revenue projections for year 1, €52 million, 16% growth. Year 2, $61 million. Year 3, $73 million. Father's vision finally executed. 2 months after the board meeting, I'm at the office late on a Friday evening. Most employees have left. I'm reviewing partnership contracts when there's a knock on my door. Herr Fischer. Working late again? He asks. These contracts are complex. Want to make sure I understand them fully. He sits. Anna, can I give you some advice? Of course. Don't lose yourself in this. You have your own career, your own life, the conservation work you love. I know. Once we have the CEO fully transitioned, no. Now, you've done what your father needed. You saved the company. You exposed Stefan's misconduct. You started the strategic pivot. But you're not the CEO. You don't need to be here every day. But your father gave you 30% to give you power, not to trap you in manufacturing. Use the power to set good direction, then go back to your actual passion. That's what he'd want. He's right. I've been so focused on fixing the company that I've neglected my conservation work. My team in Botswana has been managing without me, but they need leadership. They need me. When does Dr. Chen start full-time? Next month. Then next month, I go back to Botswana. But I'll stay involved as a board member, active, engaged, but not operational. Herr Fischer smiles. Good. Klaus would approve. That night, I draft an email to my conservation team. Returning to full-time operations in 5 weeks. Let's discuss the Tanzania corridor expansion and the Kenya Ranger Academy budget increase. Time to get back to work. Their responses come flooding in. Excitement, relief, celebration. They missed me. And I missed them. I love engineering strategy. Love the challenge of turning around the company. But conservation is my passion, my purpose. Father gave me the power to save Bergmann Engineering. He didn't ask me to sacrifice my own dreams to run it. 6 months after the emergency board meeting, I'm back in Botswana, back in my element, Khaki clothes, dusty boots, sitting in a Land Cruiser watching elephants cross the Chobe River at sunset. My deputy Kwame is beside me. Good to have you back, boss. The office people are fine, but they don't understand the field like you do. The office people kept everything running while I dealt with family drama in Switzerland. How'd that turn out? Company saved. Brother exposed and removed. Family relationships destroyed. Mother won't speak to me. I'll call it a mixed victory. Kwame laughs. In my village, we have a saying, family is like fire. Keeps you warm but gets too close and you burn. Sometimes you need distance. Wise village. We watch the elephants. One of the matriarchs pauses, looks directly at us. There's something in that gaze. Intelligence, awareness, dignity. This is why I do this work. These creatures matter. This landscape matters. The intricate web of life here is worth protecting. My phone buzzes. Email from Dr. Chen, the new Bergmann Engineering CEO. Q2 results. Revenue, 14.2 million euros, up 22% year over year. Renewable Energy Division landing 2 new partnerships next month. Board meeting next Friday if you're available by video call. I reply, available Friday 4 p.m. Botswana time, 2 p.m. Zürich. Great work on the partnerships. It's working. The strategy is working. Bergmann Engineering is growing again, innovating again, honoring Father's vision. And I'm here, where I belong. A few weeks later, I fly back to Zürich for the quarterly board meeting. It's strange being back. Switzerland feels small and contained after Botswana's wide spaces. The board meeting is efficient. Dr. Chen presents excellent results. Renewable energy revenue is exceeding projections. Employee morale is high. The partnership pipeline is strong. Any questions? Dr. Chen asks. I raise my hand. The employee training program for renewable energy manufacturing. Are we developing that internally or partnering with educational institutions? Currently internal, but I've been exploring partnership with ETH Zürich for advanced certification program. Good. Investing in employee development was always important to my father. Let's make sure we maintain that value. After the meeting, Herr Fischer pulls me aside. You're doing well, Anna. Engaged but not overbearing. Asking the right questions without micromanaging. Klaus would be proud. Thank you. That means a lot. Have you spoken to your mother? No, she's made it clear she doesn't want contact. That may change with time. Or it may not. Either way, you did the right thing. I hope so. That evening, I have dinner with Helena Weber at Kronenhalle. So, Helena says over wine, how does it feel? 6 months later. Strange. Good, but strange. The company is thriving. Stefan's out of my life. I'm back doing work I love. But I lost my family. You lost your mother and brother who tried to commit fraud against you. That's different than losing family who loved and respected you. Still hurts. Of course it does. You're human. She pauses. But Anna, look at what you've accomplished. You saved a company, protected 200 jobs, honored your father's legacy, proved that underestimating you was everyone else's mistake, not your weakness. When you put it that way. How would you put it? I think about it. I guess I learned that I'm more capable than I thought. That conservation work prepared me for business strategy. That being underestimated can be an advantage. And that sometimes the right choice feels terrible, but it's still right. Exactly. And I miss my father every day. I wish he could see the company now, see that his vision is working. Helena raises her glass. To Klaus, who knew his daughter better than she knew herself. We toast. A month later, I'm back in Botswana preparing for a major anti-poaching operation when I get an unexpected email. From Stefan. Subject: no response needed. Anna, I don't expect you to reply. I just wanted you to know that I've been in therapy for the past 4 months. Working through a lot of stuff: resentment, entitlement, the choices I made. The therapist asked me what I'd say to you if I could, so I'm writing this even if you delete it. You were right about everything. I did underestimate you. Did resent you. Did try to steal from you because I convinced myself I deserved Father's legacy more than you did. I was wrong. Watching the company thrive under the new strategy, Father's strategy that I rejected, has been humbling. Reading the industry articles praising Bergmann Engineering's innovation makes me realize how badly I failed him. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm just acknowledging that you saved what I would have destroyed. Claudia and I are divorced. I'm living simply, paying restitution from my consulting work. The kids are confused about why Uncle Anna doesn't visit anymore. I don't know how to explain that their father tried to steal from their aunt. Anyway, I hope your conservation work is going well. I actually read about your Tanzania corridor expansion in the news. Sounds incredible. You're doing important work. Take care of yourself. Stefan. I read it twice, then closed the laptop. I don't reply. Maybe someday I will, but not yet. Some wounds need time. 9 months after the board meeting, I receive a letter. Physical letter, Swiss postage, expensive stationery. From Mother. I almost throw it away unread, but curiosity wins. Anna, I am writing this letter on the advice of my therapist, who has been helping me process the events of this past year. I need to acknowledge that I was wrong. Monumentally, unforgivably wrong. I allowed my favoritism towards Stefan to blind me to his faults and to your capabilities. I helped him plan fraud against you because I convinced myself it was for the family. I dismissed your career and achievements because they didn't fit my narrow definition of success. I was a terrible mother to you. I see that now. Your father tried to tell me. Several times over the years he said, "Petra, you underestimate Anna. She's remarkable in ways you refuse to see." I didn't listen. I thought he was being sentimental. He wasn't. He was right. You are remarkable. I'm not asking for forgiveness or reconciliation. I just needed you to know that I understand what I did. I destroyed our relationship through my own blindness and cruelty. You saved your father's company. You proved your competence beyond any doubt. You showed more strength and integrity than Stefan or I have ever demonstrated. I'm sorry for everything. With regret, Mother. I sit with the letter for a long time. It doesn't heal everything. It doesn't erase the betrayal or the hurt, but it's something. An acknowledgement, an apology. Maybe someday we can rebuild something. Not what we had, that's gone. But something new. Maybe. 1 year after the emergency board meeting, I'm at the Grindelwald chalet, the place Father left me. The place Stefan tried to claim. I've spent the week here, hiking the trails Father and I loved, sitting on the deck watching the mountains, reading his journals that I found in the study. One entry, dated 2 years before his diagnosis. Anna called today from Kenya. She was so excited about the rhino breeding program. She has such passion for her work, such dedication. I'm so proud of her. Stefan came by the office. We discussed the quarterly results. Good operational performance, but he rejected my proposal for the renewable energy pivot again. He's afraid of change. I worry about the company's future. Stefan is competent, but conservative. The industry is evolving, and we're standing still. I've been thinking about how to structure my estate. Stefan expects to inherit control of the company. But I'm not sure that's wise. He needs someone to push him, to force innovation. Anna has built an incredible career, manages budgets larger than our revenue. coordinates across governments and cultures. She thinks strategically in ways Stefan never has. Maybe the answer is balance. Stefan for operations, Anna for strategy. Force them to work together. Give Anna enough power to push change when needed. Stefan won't like it. Petra will be upset. But it's the right thing for the company. I need to talk to Helena about restructuring the shareholding. There it is. Father's reasoning, in his own words. He knew exactly what he was doing. Knew Stefan would resist. Knew I'd have to fight. And he trusted me to win. I hope I made you proud, Papa. My phone rings. Helena Weber. Anna, I have news. The private equity firm that bought Stefan's shares wants to sell. They're offering you first right of purchase. How much? 40% of the company for 18 million euros. That would give you 70% controlling interest. That's a lot of money. You have it. Between your shareholding value, the chalet, your savings, you could buy them out. Should I? That's not a legal question. That's a personal one. Do you want controlling interest in Bergmann Engineering? I think about it. About Father's vision. About the company's future. About my own role. No, I'm a conservationist, not a manufacturer. I want influence and voice, but not control. Can we find another investor who shares our values? I'll make some calls. 2 weeks later, we sell the 40% to a Swiss sustainable investment fund. They're aligned with the renewable energy strategy, supportive of employee development, committed to long-term value over quick profits. Perfect partners. I maintain my 30%. Mother keeps her 30%. The fund has 40%. Dr. Chen runs the company with my strategic input and Herr Fischer's operational wisdom. It's working. Everything is working. Present day. I'm sitting in my Zürich apartment looking out over the lake. Tomorrow I fly back to Botswana for 3 months of intensive field work. My phone buzzes. Message from Kwame. The elephants are waiting for you, boss. Stop playing with your fancy Swiss company and come back to real work. I laugh. He's right. I think about the past year, about discovering the betrayal, fighting for the company, destroying and perhaps slowly rebuilding family relationships. About learning that I'm stronger than I thought. That conservation work taught me business strategy. That being underestimated is a gift because people never see you coming. I've learned that doing the right thing isn't always easy. Sometimes it's messy and painful and costs you relationships you valued. But it's still right. I look at Father's photo on my desk, the one from Grindelwald 5 years ago. He's smiling. I hope I did okay, Papa, I say quietly. I saved your company, honored your vision, proved that your weird conservation daughter could handle business after all. I imagine his response. I never doubted you, Liebchen, not for a second. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he knew all along that when the time came, I'd know exactly what to do. My name is Anna Bergmann. I'm 34 years old. 1 year ago, my family tried to steal my inheritance. They thought I was too soft, too naive, too different to fight back. They thought wrong. I manage conservation operations across 8 countries. I saved my father's company from mismanagement and fraud. I proved that being underestimated is a tactical advantage. I'm not running a manufacturing company full-time because that's not my passion. But I'm a major shareholder ensuring it honors my father's vision and values. I've lost some family relationships. Maybe permanently, maybe temporarily. That hurts. But I did the right thing. I protected what Father built. I stood up for myself when everyone expected me to fold. I'm heading back to Botswana tomorrow, back to elephants and rangers and the conservation work I love. But I'm not leaving the company behind. I'm just balancing 2 things I care about. Because here's what I've learned. You don't have to choose between business and idealism, between family and integrity, between strength and compassion. You can be soft and strong simultaneously. You can love elephants and understand corporate strategy. You can honor your father's legacy while building your own. Never bet against the daughter everyone underestimated. She's been training her whole life for this fight, and she's just getting started.